teams left.
And welcome to Sports Talk Tonight and our March Madness pool. So you're winning by a few, but with your scoring system, the point values go up the deeper we go into the tournament. So the more teams you have in the Sweet 16, the more.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
And at 2, 4, 6, 8, I believe. Who do we appreciate? But that I believe I'm following the Coca-Cola Ike Anderson pool scoring, so I don't even know what the next round is, but I guess we shall see.
So in other words, you're the only guy that knows the scoring system here.
And you haven't seen my bracket officially.
I'm not suggesting anything, but you're the only guy that knows the scoring system.
Well,
so.
and all of the teams
Good luck
in the
to me and
tournament
Kyle.
know the scoring system too, and I've been on the phone with them.
Andy, how did we see this coming?
I'm sorry, was that Kyle?
How did we not see this coming?
I know.
We didn't see his bracket. He's controlling the score, and we're behind.
I'm glad we played for nothing more than one of us walking down the hall going, your bracket's busted.
Well, no, I think Kyle's going to be buying us pizza and beer.
Thank God you didn't say where and what kind.
That could be too.
Hey, this is Sports Talk Tonight.
What a show. What a show.
Very special guest.
I don't mind taking a back seat to cows.
Guests tonight.
Yeah.
Head coach from the Arlee Warriors, Zanen Pitts. He the coach of the Class C champion boys basketball squad.
Yep. How about that?
He's going to bring a couple of players, and just read an interesting article titled Arlee's State Championship for All of Indian Country. Pretty neat article, and he will be joining us around the bottom of the hour.
And we are shuffling our programming around just a little bit because Zanen not in the studio yet because
he's got to feed cattle.
Got to feed cattle.
Yeah. Got to do chores first before he comes down.
Well, obviously, not a lot of additional glory came with being the head coach of the state championship.
Clearly.
Wonder if he's got any Guernsey cows.
Man, that'd be good, yeah.
I mean, world famous milking cows.
He does. We'll take a picture.
My dad's nickname in college, Moo.
You know, that never occurred to me.
Yeah, and I'm glad it never occurred to any of my friends either.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I can't see calling you Moo.
No. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe move your butt. You know, get out of my way, move it, or lose it.
We're expecting them near the bottom of the hour, as soon as they can possibly get here. So those of you who heard the promos and caught it on Facebook and everything, waiting for the guys from Arlee, they will be here. We'll just kind of shuffle things around, and I'll blow out a whole bunch of space in the hour once they arrive, so we can just do nothing but stand here and talk to them.
Well, and keeping with the basketball theme, for those in Grizz country that were kind of worried and nervous about Travis DeCure interviewing again for Cal, he has dropped out of that coaching vacancy position, and he will be back with your Montana Grizzlies.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where you're. I guess it's kind of like the Wayne Tinkle thing a few years ago. You're rooting for the guy, and you're hoping it doesn't. It's not fair, I know. Yeah, good luck to you. Don't get it, kind of thing, because you want him to stay. That's typical selfish fan stuff. But
Sonia Stiles, is that
Sophia
Stiles, named from Malta, repeats as a Gatorade Player of the Year.
Right.
Yep.
She's coming to be a Lady Grizz. The Lady Sentinel Spartans fall to Great Falls, 46-41. I tell you what. They lost 3 starters or 3 players to season-ending injuries during the year.
You hate to make it sound like sour grapes, but
and the team had got food poisoning.
Yeah,
in the championship game, and they still
Froelich was like she didn't hardly play much.
Only
come within 5.
Froelich didn't play, and who was the other one that got sick? Emma Blakely, second team All-State. She ends up getting sick, and was in the hospital hours before getting IVs.
Yeah,
so solid. Courageous effort by the Spartans, but they go down.
Could you have been any more snake bit? I mean, it's just it's unreal.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's still a great showing.
Local players on the All-State team. Let's see, from Sentinel on the first team, you've got Kylie Froelich and Jordan Schwain. Second team, Hellgate, Sydney Riddle. And second team from Sentinel, Emma Blakely and Lexi Deeden. Honorable mention over Big Sky, Kelsey McEnany. And over on the boys' side, let's see if I get this right. First team from Hellgate, Darius Collins, along with freshman Raleigh Worcester. Sentinel had Sam Begley. He's a junior. Second team from Big Sky, Nick Jovetic and Alex Simmons. Second team as well from Sentinel, Will Mitty. And honorable mention goes to Mitch Roberts of Sentinel. So congratulations to the AA All-State athletes.
Yes. Yeah, there were some tight games in those tournaments,
which is great.
Yes, and Kyle's Florence Falcons girls basketball team, they at least they won a second round game, right?
They made it to Saturday morning, which for a young team is a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah,
and they second round they got beat by the eventual state champions Fairfield in the first round by double digits, I believe, and then Colstrip, who came in undefeated, much as Ronan girls came in undefeated. Both of those teams got bounced in the second round.
And that must have been an exciting state championship finish, too. Fairfield beating Malta by 1, and it was just our incoming Lady Grizz. There was, like just less than 2 seconds on the clock, and she was she had the baseline pass in, bounced it off one of their players, and then got the ball herself.
At break, I'll show you the video. I think
the shot got blocked,
Twitter. But yeah, her soon-to-be competitor in the Big Sky Conference, Klinker, I think is her name, 6'2" gal out of Fairfield, is going to Idaho, stuffed her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the final was something like 34-33, and Sophia Stiles had 20-some of those.
And you watch her play and go, how did she score that many? I don't remember. Yeah. But she's smooth and sneaky, and she's got a nose for the ball.
Awful lot of people excited about that recruit.
Oh, yeah.
Incoming Lady Grizz basketball player.
Something I didn't know about until I read it, but congratulations, winners of the Women's National Tribal Collegiate Championship, Salish Kootenai College.
Yeah.
Over in this last week in Rapid City, South Dakota, they beat Rocky Boy 82-70.
Wow.
Chanel Skunk Cap was the MVP. She's out of Browning. Kaylee Skunk Cap Whitney Malatari. Is that how you pronounce Malatari? Malatari and Brayley Stone were all on the all tournament team on the first team, and Stone was from Browning as well. She scored 32 points in the chipper. So congratulations to Salish Kootenai College.
Yeah,
very cool.
Wow, what a week! Show. What a week plus for basketball for the Flathead Reservation. That's terrific.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And so close, I know, it's so near yet so far, the Arlee girls high school basketball team, the runner-up in the state seed, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still, just a phenomenal showing.
All right.
So you are looking at your Sweet 16, and you have more in the Sweet 16 than I have in the Sweet 16. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I have in the Sweet 16. That upper left one, Denny, like you said, is
bye-bye.
Completely busted. I've got Baylor alive still. If you go, and that's in the East. If you go down to the West, I've got just like you. I've got Gonzaga, West Virginia, and Arizona in that side. And things could change for you because I've got West Virginia beating Gonzaga.
Yeah, I don't have Gonzaga. I don't have West Virginia in there. I had Notre Dame in there, but I have Gonzaga moving. You have West Virginia beating Gonzaga?
Gonzaga.
Ooh,
okay.
Come on.
And then you've got Gonzaga beating Arizona, which I have Arizona beating West Virginia. So you could, if things work out, you get some points there and you make a little comeback.
Never give up on the dream. Tell me you don't have Michigan, though.
No, I do not.
Okay.
No, I've got Kansas, Purdue, and Oregon.
Do you have Michigan, Denny?
Yeah, I have Michigan in there.
Oh, that's right. That's your...
That's one of my couple of Cinderellas there in my Sweet 16.
And then in the South, I've got all four: North Carolina, Butler, UCLA, and in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Which is, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. That's tough.
Yeah. But that doesn't happen all that often.
I had some great insight on that one.
Did you?
Let me tell you.
Yeah?
Hey, how good, by the way, how good
tails,
did my Kansas Jayhawks look?
Very good about the last 10 minutes of the game, or 8 minutes of the game. Up to that point, I'm kind of thinking, come on.
Yeah. You know what? You saw that a lot. And that's the great thing about the tourney is the lower seeded teams, even the squads that were really lower seeded, they usually hung around, like Mount St. Mary's against Villanova in the first round game.
Yep.
I mean, they hung in there the whole first half.
And early on in the second half.
Yeah, and then Villanova, of course, with the superior athletes and stuff, they pulled away. That happened. That happened a lot. Even UC Davis in Kansas. I mean, for the first 10 minutes.
It seemed like every game. I was traveling last weekend, so I had to listen to a lot of them on the radio.
You know the best game I think that I saw though, Denny, was that Middle Tennessee State versus Minnesota.
Shut it. Shut it.
You mean Kyle's Sweet 16 Gophers?
That was my I should have known a 5 and a 12. I'm like, what am I doing?
I know you're like Minnesota's a 5. You're like, oh.
I'm like, why can't you be a 6? Although the 6-11 games were
6-11s yeah. There's always a couple of 11s. Yeah. In fact, one doing very well, Xavier. Actually, part of our trivia question.
And you know what? I don't know why you don't pick Xavier to make the Sweet 16 every year because
they do.
It seems like they do.
They do.
Good club.
And the game that I was impressed with, and Denny, we talked about this, was the Wisconsin Villanova.
Very intriguing.
Wisconsin, and I can't remember the stat, but this is like the 5th year in a row that Wisconsin's been to the Sweet 16. They have a deliberate style.
They can do it because they just don't get rattled. I mean, they were so patient and so poised, and they played their game. It was well done.
Yeah, it was, and I was impressed by USC.
Mm-hmm.
Who made a nice little run after the first 2.5 days of Pac-12 was like 8-0.
Oh yeah.
I mean, really well represented. Still have Oregon out there. Still have Arizona and UCLA.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
So they're doing good. But Denny, hey, let us get to the trivia.
Yes, 721-1290. If you know this week's trivia answer and our winner. Oh, I should mention, I don't know if Lane is listening or not. Last week's winner, Lane, I apologize. I put the envelope with your prizes in the outgoing, and so for some reason it did no outgoing. So I finally got taken that care of today. So if you're wondering, hey, where are my prizes? They sat a while, so I apologize for that. I won't let that happen again. But anyway, I just want to let Lane know that in case he's listening. Anyway, our winner gets a $10 gift certificate from Fuddruckers, world's greatest hamburgers. Whatever you order off that amazing Fuddruckers menu, you get to top it yourself. You go over to the prep stations and go to work and just make it absolutely fabulous. And a great selection of local microbrews at Fuddruckers as well. They're located on North Reserve. And from Brent and the crew at Happy Days Car Wash, voted in the Missoulian Readers Poll, Missoula's favorite again this year. Gift card for The Works Car Wash at Happy Days. They are located on Brooks between Fairbridge Inn and Suites and Pizza Hut. So we got those two cards for our winner at 721-1290. Well, as we started talking about here a little bit, we're down to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tourney, and there is still one 11 seed remaining. That is Xavier. That's the lowest number seed ever to make it to the Final Four. It's happened 3 other times. Of those 3 teams that have made it before, how many made it to the championship game? Was that A, 2, B, 1, or C, 0? There's been 3 other 11 seeds make it to the Final Four. Of those 3, how many made it to the championship game? A, 2, B, 1, or C, 0? 721-1290. I need a winner, Gerns, on Sports Talk Tonight trivia.
Get on the phone, win your prizes. Sports Talk Tonight is brought to you in part by locally owned and operated grocery store Orange Street Food Farm, featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. And by Grizzly Liquor, located downtown next to the Iron Horse. Big Sky, big selection, online at grizzlyliquor.com. When we come back, trivia winner, and down at the bottom of the hour, we will have head coach for the Arlee Warriors and some of the players when we come back on Sports Talk Tonight with Gerns and Bedard.
Sports Talk Tonight, live from the KGVO studio.
Missoula Sports.
It is Sports Talk Tonight. We are brought to you by Bell McCall Ford. Great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Bell McCall is locally owned, low-cost auto dealer for 100 years. Downtown Hamilton, Montana. And by Granite Pharmacy, locally owned and operated pharmacy on South Avenue between Shopko and Big Sky High School. Find them online at granitepharmacy.com. Denny, what's going on? Are the phone lines phone broken?
I don't have a correct answer yet. I need a winner on trivia. I didn't think this one would be that tough, but we're giving away a gift certificate to Fuddruckers and a gift card to Happy Days Car Wash. 721-1290. We've been talking the NCAAs and the Sweet 16. There's still one 11 seed remaining. That's Xavier. That's the lowest number seed ever to make the Final Four. That's happened 3 other times. And of those 3 teams, how many made it to the championship game? Was that A, 2, B, 1, or C, 0? 721-1290. Got to get me a winner, but while we're waiting on that winner, we better jump on over to the Steal of the Week. We're moving things around a little bit, making room for the Arlee guys coming in here. Steal of the Week is brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality manufactured steel products. While you do the steel, I'll get a winner at 721-1290. How's that?
You get on that, Denny. And my steal of the week, it's actually 2 steals because this team in the NCAA tournament, number 11, University of Southern California Trojans, pulled off a couple of steals. They were in that extra 4 game. They were playing Providence to get into the field of 64, down by 17 points in the second half. They come on a big comeback run, end up winning 75-71. That was on Wednesday night. And then on Friday, they take on number 6 SMU, down by double digits in the second half, and they come back and win 66-65. 2 straight comebacks to steal some victories. And those are my steal of the weeks, brought to you by True North Steel. And boy, Denny, your timing is impeccable. I think we have a winner.
It always has been. Yeah. Sure it has. Hey, Bruce Porch is on the line. How you doing today, Bruce?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm driving just through Arlee, coming back to Missoula.
You're kidding. You're going through Arlee right now. The Arlee guys just walked in. That's pretty weird.
Yeah, I know. That was funny.
Well, Sweet 16, 111 seed still in there, the lowest number seed ever to make it to the Final Four. That's happened 3 other times. Of those 3, how many made it to the championship, Bruce? Was that A, 2, B, 1, or C, 0? What do you think?
We can't have an 11 in the championship. It's got to be 0.
I guess not. The only other 3 number 11 seeds to get to the Final Four, LSU, 1986, George Mason, 2006, Virginia Commonwealth, 2011, but all 3 lost in the semifinals, so we'll see if the Musketeers of Xavier can make history this year. Good job, Bruce. We really appreciate you listening. We hope you stay with us for the rest of the show. About ready to rock here with our special guests, and we'll get your prizes mailed out to you, all right?
All right. Congratulations, those Arlee boys.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hey, Denny, hey, congratulations to our prize winner.
Bruce Porch.
That's Bruce Porch. I know a bunch of Porchies.
Of Missoula.
All right. Must be related.
Probably.
Fine fellows. Hey, you know what? Our guest just walked in the studio. Denny, let's take a quick break.
I can do that.
And we come back, we will have some
time to chitty-chat.
Some state champions from Arlee when we come back on Sports Talk Tonight.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
Welcome back. Sports Talk Tonight with Gerns and Bedard. We have got some very special guests from Arlee. They are brought to you, as always, by First Montana Bank. Your home for free Centennial checking plus unlimited cash back every time you use your debit card. Online at firstmontanabank.com. And I tell you what, I love having champs in the studio, Denny, because they fit in with us. Because we're champions of the 6 to 7 Wednesday night Missoula Talk Radio.
All right.
You know, we are champs.
I don't recall getting a parade through town like these guys did.
You missed it. It was fun. It was fun. It was a good time. But head coach Zanen Pitts, along with players Gregory Whitesell, Ivory Brien, and Will Mesteth. And Coach, how satisfying is it to be runner-up last year and this year to take home the trophy?
That typical saying when you always think about it, you listen to all the championships, everyone says words don't describe the moment. After everything we've been through over the last few years, just complete. It was just like there was words, but it was just the simple fact that when I got to get hugs from each one of them or from my wife, it was just, you could finally just relax. It was accomplished. So yeah, the best word you can say is we finally accomplished what we set out for.
Finished the job.
The job.
Did it make it harder to finish the job when everybody expected you to finish the job? This was just in the fans' minds. I mean, not just the Arlee fans. I think everybody around the state, it was just kind of a given. Well, Arlee wins.
Yeah,
Is that more pressure? Is that harder? Does that make it easier? How does that work?
Well, there's a couple ways you can go with that.
Yeah.
The one way is, I mean, in all honesty, it was kind of a David and Goliath. Us being David and them being Goliath. If you looked at the paper, like I was telling someone, if you were to walk in and be an MSU fan or a AA fan and show up to watch a Class C championship on paper and just looking at Manhattan Christian, you would have thought, wow, look at them. They have the superior team. They have the size and the height and the ball handling. And look at Arlee. But on the other side, what people don't understand about these boys is they have two things, and it's kind of an inbred thing within all the kids there. They have this confidence that you can't take away from them, and the knowing that they are going to win. And they thrive on pressure. Sometimes coaches, they hold back. They try not to tell teams certain things. This team, the more you put on them, the better they're going to produce.
Is it was it a quiet confidence, or did coach have to yell, "Hey, quit getting so cocky about things" every once in a while? How did they treat that confidence?
I wouldn't say that there was ever really a cocky. The demeanor that most of these boys carry is just a simple nod of the eye.
Okay.
Very humble, but at the same time, in our closed doors of the Arlee gym, there's definitely some words that are used.
And I'm assuming you're a tough team. I mean, got a lot of pride.
Let's put it on this perspective. Will Mesteth breaks his finger in practice. He comes over and he goes, "Hey, coach, I broke my finger." I say, "Okay, we should probably just stop right there." He goes, "I'm not a little girl." I said, "Well, let's just go ice." He says, "No, practice isn't over." I mean, that's just, and we can take that at light, but there's a lot said there, and that's the demeanor that those boys carry, and that they're playing for a big purpose, and that they're very tough.
And
Wow.
And you guys have had not only a really good run in basketball, but the football program has been, and it probably carries over a little bit from that too, as far as the toughness and what have you.
Yeah, no, football coach Yoakum, he's done a great job with getting the boys to hold them accountable for having heart, for not giving up on the gridiron and playing well. But it also goes back to, I think, one thing we're really blessed with is we have a lot of really good parents. Our parents and our aunties and uncles and grandparents, they've taught these kids a lot of great things from growing up, and it made my job easier because they're really respectful and receptive, and to not quit. That was the biggest thing. They've taught them a lot of heart. So,
Sports Talk Tonight with Gerns and Bedard, live in studio. Coach Zanen Pitts, Gregory Whitesell, Ivory Brien, and Will Mesteth, some players from the state C class championship Arlee Warriors. And I read an article in the paper about, the title says it all, Arlee State Championship for all of Indian country. And, there's lots of places around that are, I always say this, depressed, and there's not a lot going for them. And it's really is just an example of what you can do when you work hard and you play together as a team.
sorry, this guy was talking to me. Say that one more
as
time.
far as community and doing it for Indian country, not just school. It's for bigger than you are.
No, it's just in Indian country. It's really special. My wife, some of her family's from they're Potawatomi from Kansas. Ivory Brien, he's got family in Browning, which is Blackfeet or Crow. Will's family, Mesteth, there's a lot of them over from the Dakotas. Whitesell, he's his Navajo, some of in him. I mean, all these kids. So we're so intertwined in that we have family and friends everywhere. And basketball is such a big deal. Basketball, running, rodeo, powwowing, those are important parts of our lives. And so the struggles that we face, but everyone faces struggle, not to single out that. But when you're able to go out and accomplish something that you've worked so hard for, and it's something that everyone within that community look up to, it's beyond rewarding. But to do it with the class that the boys did it with, they carried themselves in every manner that I would have asked them to, and that humbles me to be around a group of boys like that, for that group of people.
What has how long ago? Almost 2 weeks ago, I guess now. What has the last 2 weeks been like? These kids around school. I imagine there's still a buzz. You know, it's still Christmas in Arlee as far as the fans are concerned, right?
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Let's get some of the
Will,
guys.
you have the Will of the broken finger.
Because he got a broken finger. He gets to talk first.
How's it been, man? How's it feel to be a state champ?
Feels great, man. It's just something that I always dreamed of, and a lot of kids dream about this, but only some get to accomplish it.
When did you break your finger, by the way?
I broke it in football season, dislocated it, and kind of got better, come along, and then I got it caught in one of our buddies' jersey, and it
Oh, man.
dislocated again.
Yeah. So you weren't faking it, in other words.
Rub some dirt on it and get back. Are you right-handed?
Lefty.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
And it's a
boy.
left finger?
Both, actually.
Man, I wish
So,
I was both.
You can't let the opponents know that, right? Gurns is an athlete. You don't want the opponents to know that because they're going to start, kind of squeezing the hand and doing crazy stuff like that. What was it like? You played in front of crowds that probably bigger than most of the crowds that saw Montana State and the University of Montana play at home. What was that like when you came out on the court? Did you know it was going to be like that?
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be like that, but it is first time I've played in front of a big crowd like that, and
it was huge, wasn't it? Wasn't it 6,500, 7,000, something like that, Zanen?
The first night they said it was roughly right at 7. The second night it wasn't full capacity. There was, you could see a checkerboard here and there, but as a whole they had it right around 7,200.
That's like Grizz Cat.
Yeah, I know.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, and if you think about like the Crows, they had 3 teams in 3 tournament boys teams. And then you had a lot of Indian teams playing, so it really broke it up. If you would have had any lesser team somewhere else, I mean, it would have been maxed out easily. And the year before at Great Falls, they turned away a lot of people. Right. Mm-hmm. But the thing that people forget about in today's society versus back like when Ronan played Browning in the state championship or any of those teams, we have social media. So you can close the doors on the internet. You can tell everyone, hey, doors are going to be closed in about 30 more minutes. So you will never really get a full effect like we used to get just because of the way times have changed. But you'll never see the doors go around and wrap as often because of the social media.
Right. And they can probably watch it on a...
Exactly. You got a lot of people. I've watched the game 6 times already. I still have it on my phone. Still trying to figure out areas that we could fix for next year.
A couple of them were pretty close. Will, what was the toughest game of the 3? Was it trying to get by the first one? Because if you don't get by the first one, or the second one, from that matter, you don't get to play what you wanted to play for. Was one particularly nerve-wracking or tougher than the other ones?
I think the last game, the state championship game, was the best game out of all of them. And Manhattan Christian coming out, scored 6 buckets right off the bat, kind of surprised us, and it was 6-0 already. And
yeah, what did Coach have to say about that anyway when he called timeout and brought you over?
Just told us keep our heads and calm down, and whatever happens.
Right. Season's over. You don't have to make him sound like a nice guy like that.
No, Will's a junior. He's going to be back.
That's right.
So he's got to. He's got to be.
We got to go to seniors' point of view on that deal.
Let's talk to Ivory Brien.
Yeah, you can grab that mic or that's fine.
How with you guys being runner-up last year? How good of a motivating factor was that coming into your senior year?
Well, last year, I guess it really killed me. I was an alternate last year, but it really killed me, and I just knew I had to put time in the gym, had to become a gym rat, and just live there every day. But to win a state championship this year has been a goal for mine since freshman year, and that's when I really started putting time in.
Well, it's a great way to go, and it's a memory. You can. I tell you what, when times are tough. I mean, I was a state champion in football in Washington, and when I'm feeling sorry for myself or got my daubers down, tell you what, man, you can always look at those pictures and you can always think back to, man, I was a state champ. You'll remember that forever.
What's the first thing you remember after the game was over? Once that final horn sounded, you probably got the entire city of Arlee there. What's the first thing that popped into your head once it was over?
I don't even know. I was like, we won, and I couldn't believe it, and I was just like, the whole time I was playing for my grandma, and my grandma came into my mind, and I just said, well, I'm doing this for her, and I just
how much did you have? Some family there? How much family did you have there?
In my picture, I think I counted 24 people that came to my game.
Wow,
holy cow,
man.
I think my games drew about 24 people
total. Yeah.
And that was for the other team.
Yeah.
We were never any.
When we do a pregame football show, I think that's about our entire attendance watching us there at the tailgate side area. 24, man, that's awesome. So it probably just seemed like a complete blur, for a little while there.
Yeah, just people left and right after the game were trying to take pictures with me, and the family I didn't even know kind of came up to me, and I barely knew them, and I haven't seen them in a while. They just came up to me, and then it was just all a blur. And I just remember just knowing I had to give up the trophy because I had it for like 10 minutes because of all my family was coming up to me.
Oh,
We are never getting out of this gym tonight. We might as well just stay here.
Oh, you got
it. All the well-wishers.
It's one of those deals where you just want to soak it in as much as possible because.
Well, why not?
Because it's like as soon as you leave that gym, it's kind of it's never over, but it's over, and you want to bask in that in that glory for as long as you can. Gregory.
Is it Greg's turn yet, or we can get Gregory in?
Gregory Whitesell, only a sophomore.
Hey.
Yeah. Going to be. I tell you what, you guys got a.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, it's not like it's not like they went 7 deep in seniors. It wasn't like that. They've got guys coming back, and Gregory's one of them.
Yeah.
What do you like best about? I know you kind of have. It's not a reputation. I mean, it's just a acknowledgement for the style of play that you guys do. I mean, you guys are in a big hurry for 32 minutes out there. What do you like best about the way Coach Pitts coaches the Arlee basketball team?
Just how he keeps us so calm,
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll go in there and we'll just try to score, and we'll just kind of lose our mindset, and then he'll keep us calm. So.
Yeah, it's not. And I was reading you guys like to run up and down, keep it going, and just attack as opposed to. And that I'm assuming that helps to keep you loose too.
Oh yeah. It's one of those things where you're not really taught. It's more or less you just know that we run, and we've been running for how long? Like I don't know how long we've been running up and down the courts, but it's one of those things that you're not really taught. It's just you see it, and
in fact, they have to go back tonight and run because Coach Pitts. It is an exciting style of basketball. I'm sure the kids just love it, but you obviously can't do that unless you do have a little depth. Can you speak to that a little bit? For instance, we got a sophomore right here, but you got to have some depth. You're mighty proud of.
And a couple things is one we only played 7. Jump back over to Ivory for a second. I do want to give him mad props. He was an alternate last year, and he's probably one of the most unathletic kids that ever came into our program. And Ivory, you can ask any of the boys, he was the deciding factor in us winning the semifinal game. It's still just that's one of the times I'll actually go speechless, is to think of what he accomplished. I think he had close to 12 rebounds.
Wow.
It was surreal. 1 block, 3 steals. It was like God had the stars aligned, and we had a goal to get to. And Ivory understood his role for 4 years. He came in and played over, 50 mornings. Every season we opened the gym in the mornings. He always came in. He did everything he was asked to, and he let me yell at him and just tear him. And he stuck it out. And without Ivory, and without the other 15 boys that were on the bench, from the managers to the MVP, Tyler and Phillip, we wouldn't have been where we were. So, it's important that all kids, even when the ones that's listening, is hopefully one kid understands there's a role for every player on every team. And if you accept that role, you can be a part of something special. People don't realize Greg Whitesell is, in my opinion, the best shooter I've ever been around.
Wow.
And he scored 1 point in the state championship. He only shot maybe 4 shots. He knew Will Mesteth was ready. He knew Tyler Tanner and Philip Malter. And so that was something that these boys have gained. And like you asked about the style of the ball, I've always been taught that if you can't run a quarter court set, how the heck are you supposed to run a full court set? And too often teams will think that they're a transition team, and they'll run up and down the court like you're at Open Gym or you're at Old Man League up there in Arlee. And that's not what it's about. We're running to score. We're running to points and spots and looking to transition. And then if you make up a mistake, we're going to hit you. But the game's a methodical game. It's not a blur. It's you come down and you dribble once to the left or twice, and you cross back over to the right, and, then you go by them A to B to the cup. And then you set in your defense, and you stand there. You let your heart beat, and you're waiting. And then they dribble once or twice, and you're just waiting. And, when they make that mistake, boom, it's over. And then it's in a blur again. And so there's structure to our madness, and it's madness.
Controlled chaos.
Exactly.
What typically did you see to try to defend that? Did teams, with your speed, I imagine it was a challenge to keep up with you man-to-man. Did you see basically a lot of different zone looks?
Yeah. And for all those people out there that were blown away and the crickets started to sound with a minute 49 in the, minute 59 in the third quarter when we spread the court, we were winning by 1 against a team that was over 6'5" on average down low.
Oh,
they went when they pulled their one kid and put 31 in. They went 6'3", 6'5", 6'5", 6'5", 6'6", and they sat in a 1-2-2 zone quarter court, and we were up by 1. We were on the edge of being tired, and we know we're the best ball handlers and decision makers in the entire state. We needed them to go to man. And then it wasn't about run and gun anymore. It wasn't about anything else. It was about strategic and about winning. And all of us know what we want. We've role-played thousands of hours and talked about what we would do in situations. These guys know. That way when we get into a situation, we've already prepared for it. We knew what we wanted to do. We prepared the boys that the crowd would boo. We had them prepared, and they wanted the crowd to boo, and they wanted the gym to be rocking because it would mean that they were in control of the game. But when they're in that quarter court 1-2-2, if we jack a 3 and we miss, they're in rebounding position.
Oh, yeah.
They go down and score. We're in foul trouble. Ramirez is unstoppable. That benefits us nothing. So by us going spreading the court like we did, all of a sudden, that's uncharacteristic. And guess what? They sat there, and they came out the start of the fourth quarter, and who had the ball? Us. We knew we had the arrow, and they went man. And once they went man, I was like, man, we just won. It's over. And we did. And it was exactly the way we had role-played and prepared for 2 years.
That's impressive. We'll get you brought up Ivory. Ivory, go ahead and get back up to the microphone there for a second. And I think you said it was in game number 2, the semifinal game, where he just not necessarily in the scoring column, just dominated that game. Did you? What are you feeling? I mean, the coach says you know your role. Was it just like, gosh, that many boards? Is this like every loose ball is mine? I'm going after it. I don't care if maybe I get a whistle. I gotta go do that.
Yeah, I just knew how to take part of my role because I knew I had 3 scorers on the floor. I mean, Will, Ty, and Phil. I was like, I'm just gonna leave the scoring up to them. I mean, I only took 3 shots out of the whole tournament. And 2 of them were free throws, and I made them both. And one of them was I didn't need to take a shot, but I did, and I got in trouble for it. But then I guess in that semifinal game, I just
a little trouble.
I just saw the ball, and I just knew I had to grab it, and I was like, I just said I have to help my team somehow. So
yeah. Well, you must have kept your poise because grabbing it's one thing and not throwing it away, that's another thing. Although I imagine with the speed and athleticism of your teammates, they probably make it fairly easy for you to locate on an outlet, huh? They're not hiding behind some defender.
Yeah, usually, I mean, Will gave me like a hootie hoo there, here and there, and then I just turned and looked at him and chucked it down the court.
Oh, well, now we know your code. You're going to have to change your code next year so we don't sell that to somebody. Yeah.
Oh, man, what a great story. I tell you what, and it sounds like you guys are going to, like you said, you got guys coming back. You got kids coming back, and hopefully it continues kind of dynasty style, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the goal. Every goal is win every possession. And then we always talk about, don't worry about the scoring. If you take care of your assists, if you take care of your defensive stops, your rebounding, and your defensive rotations, the offense always takes care of itself. And, I mean, like Will really doesn't force his threes. Nobody really forces their threes. Everyone knows that the next guy has a better look. And we always feel like the bad part about coaching great players is they all can create their own shots. And that's a good thing when you're kind of in a rut, but them being able to create their own shots can take them away from the offense. Mm-hmm. And so we've put a kind of a rule, if you can shoot a set 3, it's such a high percentage shot, we're probably going to be fine. And then the other part is we had 0 turnovers in the first half.
Of the championship game?
Yeah. One guy said he's going to look into it. We had 2 turnovers on the entire state championship game. And one of the turnovers was on Alex Moran. He actually went to shoot the ball, and it slipped out of his hand.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a distinct turnover, but it got classified as a turnover. Yeah. Alex Moran and Greg Whitesell had less than 1.1 turnovers on the season. Phil and Ty and Will, who contained the ball more than most guys, they also had an extremely low turnover rate, especially after the second half of the season when we made big adjustments. And that was the biggest part, was kids understood how to control the tempo and the ball.
Now let's get back to taking the air out of the ball in this championship game here. Maybe I'll ask Will this question. So Will, we'll get up to the microphone. How much time are you talking about? Because whatever it was, Will, I'll bet it felt like an eternity, didn't it? I mean, are you just thinking, man, how long we don't do this? How long can we hold on to this? It must have felt like forever.
I mean, oh no.
No, didn't feel that way, huh?
No.
Oh, you're well coached then. How about you, Coach? Did it feel like?
So we have a.
My goodness, this last 30 seconds seemed like 2.5 hours here.
No, it was really important. It was perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. We had prepared for.
Right.
We have a drill that we do, and the kids hate it. Coach, this is the stupidest thing ever. Why are we doing this? And I told them, because you're going to use it someday to win a title. And we have a drill. We put 3 minutes on the clock, and the starters will spread the court. And they can score as many times as they want, but they can only score off of back doors or they can't go one-on-one or wide open layups. If you score, you throw me the ball, I give it back to you. Every time they score, it's a suicide for the other team. If they can, if the other team can steal it from them, boom, done. Get on the line, starters, and they start running. So, and we worked on that and we prepared them. And so that's like Will. I mean, he'd already done all that. It had all been prepared. And why that didn't seem very long was because it was saving our legs.
Okay. So you weren't nervous about them getting nervous?
What's the point of nervous? We were winning by one, so if they want to guard us, we're state champs. And the biggest thing is we told the boys is if you can, we took a full timeout, you get a 2-minute break, you get a quarter break, you get the ball back, then you're going to have about 30 seconds into the game, and then you get to press, and they're going to punch them in the mouth. And we went on a 10-0 run. So fresh legs go a long ways.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Zanen Pitts, head coach of Arlee High School, state Class C boys champions, basketball. A little bit about your coaching background. How did you get to where you are right now?
Don't say it was Jimmy Sturgar either. I'm going to get really upset. No,
I will say Jimmy Sturgar, Aaron Scogan, and Matt Ludke and I all come from the same fold of early morning shooting, shot clubs, which were created by my brother Zachary Pitts and Matt Ludke, and ball handling, which my dad professed when he was the coach at Arlee. And I was a little boy. Franny Brown on my bench, John Molitere. Those were a player and a coach. Sean Matt, he was coached with me last year. He also played for my dad. And I was a little boy when we lost to Great Falls, and I just remember it was one thing that always bugged me, that my dad didn't get to win a state championship because he always talked about his regrets in the game that he wishes he could have done different. And I like hunting and ranching. I don't really care about basketball. I mean, I like it, but it was something that I had a hidden passion for. My brother was the one that was extremely obsessed with it and had a dire passion for it. But it was something I wanted to do for Arlee. I knew how much it meant, and when given the opportunity, I don't know. If I didn't have a good wife, I wouldn't be where we were. This team wouldn't have been as successful as it was, because she gave all the support that anyone could ever imagine. She loves these guys. She cares about them. She tells me to not be mean to them and all these other things. And
not be mean to them.
That was my desire, was to come back and give Arlee something that they were very much desiring.
Zanen Pitts, head coach of Arlee boys basketball, and some of the players. And let's see, what was I guess we should talk a little bit about the homecoming celebration. You came back to Arlee, sometime on Sunday afternoon?
Sunday at 1:45.
Again, getting back to social media, you probably had a pretty good idea what was going on, right?
Yeah, well, I had a flip phone, and it was broke because when I turned it on, it had so many texts and voicemails that every time I would turn it on, it'd freeze.
Yeah.
And it took me 2 days to unfreeze it, and I got to go back to Verizon. It's got weird glitches in it. Now it's done. It burned it up. It's the weirdest thing. It's done ever since that. And I can't text on it hardly. Well, unfortunately, I do have a nicer phone.
Okay.
I have 2 phones, 2 work phones.
Yeah, because your players just went, what is a flip phone?
Right? No, they know because I throw it.
The thing that I had a couple years ago until I finally,
right.
yeah.
You did.
What's nice about this flip phone, it's a survival phone, and it has...
is it a Rhino or no, it's not.
No, it's... I don't know what it is, but it has an app.
What I had, too.
And I can download Oxygen on it, and so I give it to the boys all the time. I'm just joking.
Hey, the flip phones are great because you can put them in your pocket, and they're not very big, and you're not going to crack your screen. And I tell you what, they're always solid.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with a flip phone.
But the homecoming thing was very special.
Sure,
a lot of really special people were there.
Well, it had to mean a lot to the kids too.
It just meant a lot to the community.
Yeah.
From the south end to the north end of the res, like, I don't know. You can ask the boys what they were playing for. I know, but it comes a lot more for them. I mean, how often does a kid get 3 blocks straight on what Philip Molitor did? He blocked 3 3-pointers coming out of the key, and it was like every ounce of his body was trying to make up for it. Will was cramped, and that's when he missed the first one. And when I don't know if you know, but I drug him off the floor, and not because I don't care about him. I love him a lot, but you could see he was starting to cramp, and Phil stole that ball. I think it was Phil, and he threw the ball to Will, and Will caught it, and as he was going to lay it up, he cramped up, made the layup, and then hit the deck. Fortunately, I got a timeout because I could tell he was starting to cramp before they got the ball inbounded, and that was all heart. I mean, the passion that Arlee has and the reservation has, this wasn't for, the boys will tell you, it wasn't for them. Yeah. They did it for Arlee. They did it for the whole valley.
Well, it's probably Gregory's turn. Why don't we ask Gregory? What was that like when you knew what you were driving into, but what was that like when the bus pulled off and you pulled up and you got off the bus?
I was speechless, just as I was during the final buzzer. It's one of those things that's so surreal that it touches your heart, and it's something you're always gonna hold on to no matter what. But it was honestly an honor and a blessing from God to see everybody there. And it just shows that a couple kids that have a dream can do anything, and you always have support.
Yeah. And you're looking out at that crowd and go, I didn't know all these dudes lived in Arlee.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of them.
Well, it was pretty cool. The Lady Warriors made it to the state title game.
Yeah.
Scarlets.
Yep. And
excuse me.
And we were talking earlier that Salish Kootenai College won the national championship, Indian College championship too.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, just a great couple weeks for Western Montana and basketball.
Oh yeah.
So how do you top this, Coach? You'll probably come out preseason number 1 pick next year for Class C, and I guess we've made it pretty clear that the cupboard's not bare. You got to be excited about that.
Yeah, we're returning 6 sophomores and 2 juniors, and we have 5 freshmen. Mm-hmm. We're an extremely young team, and we got a bunch of kids that just have a deep passion for the game. That's what makes it easy. You can coach athletes, and it's just a fight, and it's just an ongoing encouragement to stay motivated. These guys, it's an ongoing, get the heck out of the gym. I got to go home. Practice has been over for an hour. and that's how the sophomore are. I mean, we got a 6'8" kid, Isaac Fisher, who's really excited to put an off season in. Darshawn Bolin, I mean, that kid, he's Philip's little brother, and he's got a lot of heart and a lot of athleticism and desire to come at it. Lane Johnson stepped up big time, hit a big shot, gave us good minutes. And you got a couple others, Lane Shaw and Chase Gardner. Those are to round out the sophomores. Some really important key players to give us that. But we will have 6 juniors and 2 seniors, 8 kids. We're actually going to have some depth. But that's only going to come if they put the offseason in. And we already had our team meeting. We've talked about what we've got to fix. And if they don't fix it, we ain't getting back there. It's real simple. They've got to become better. And like I told Philip, his jump shot was a 1 or a 0 when I was there. I didn't fix him. He fixed himself. He and his dad spent hours fixing it. I just called him out on it. And he fixed it. Greg Whitesell, Will Mesteth, they got things that they got to fix. And if they fix those things, they can become legends. But they've got to fix it. They're not entitled to nothing, and neither am I. We've all got to earn what we want.
Already in the gym?
He shot when we got home that day.
When we got home, I was shooting.
Well, and it's one of those deals, obviously, where expectations too, but success tends to breed success. You probably got an awful lot of kids that are excited and want to be part of your program, and we congratulate you for that.
Well, and that being said, yeah, success does, and it's huge. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl. I just want you in the gym, or I want you doing something positive, successful. Like what the boys did. I get home, 5 kids have basketballs, little tiny guys dribbling. What the girls did was phenomenal, and it makes me happy because now girls have idols to look up to. AHEC, what the girls did at SKC, that is so big for our reservation. It makes me very happy for all these kids.
Well, I tell you
we
what.
are mighty glad you came in. Congratulations to all you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Really proud of you.
Congratulations, guys. Soak it in. get back to work and do it again, and we'll have you back on.
Deal.
All right. Arlee Warriors State Class Champions. We'll be right back. Oh, we're done, Denny?
We're out.
Wow, I want to come back. Hey, see you in 2 weeks. I'm going to Vegas.
All right, buddy.
All right. Sports Talk tonight. Gurns and Bedard, we're out of here.
Ford in Hamilton, they take the guesswork out of buying a car or truck. Now's a great time to take advantage of closeout pricing on new 2016 Ford F-150s with savings of over $11,000 with that.